All right, welcome in. It is Tuesday. It is time for Total Bases. It's also $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk, which means myself, I've already got one up, and the two guys that you see on the screen with me will have plays up on the website for just $5. Good night for me last night because I didn't bet anything, and it was a rare pass for me, but it was one of those nights, Brian, where anything I would have played would have been wrong. So I felt good about the pass when it was all said and done. Only had a couple of opinions, didn't think anything was strong enough to play it, and it turned out that all of those opinions were incorrect. So it's a rare scenario where I didn't play anything, and I feel good about it coming into today. How was your Monday night?
Yeah, mine was just the opposite. I thought for sure I wasn't going to use anything, and then a couple games fell into my line parameters. So I had 3 1.5% plays. I went 1 and 2 on them, and they were all blowouts. There was no doubts. I mean, I had the Washington over. I had that Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, it was a day that I wish I'd have just passed, saved a little bit of juice there, but those days happen, and we just got to bounce back.
Tokyo Brandon, welcome in. How was your Monday?
Yeah, it was. I think I went 3 and 2. If Atlanta had won that game, I would have had a great day, but they didn't, and that's how it goes. Derek May, his strikeout prop was only 3.5, so I took the over on that, easy win. And I was like Brian, I had the Phillies as well, which that was, oh my goodness, what a horrible game. Yeah. That was terrible. The Phillies lost
scored one in the
first.
One
of the worst teams in MLB. Just terrible. Yeah.
Only scored 1 run in the first after they should have probably had 4 or 5. I was disappointed even before the pitching came out.
Before the All-Star break, you're going to get blow-ups like this. Adam said it yesterday. Yep. So,
yeah, we talked about it on yesterday's show at the Open. I got to be honest, that was a big contributor to me passing for the day because I came on the show. I said this really is the spot where the Phillies should win easily. And as soon as they were down, whatever they were down, 15-1, I was like, you know what? This is probably stuff that we're going to have to, you're going to have to be careful out there this week, right? We're now 5 days out from the All-Star break. Guys are hitting the home stretch to maybe get some time off for the first time since February. Some of these guys have played in the World Baseball Classic, which is even longer. They even had less of an off season. So that is something to keep in mind as we handicap these games today. Tokyo Brandon, I'm coming back to you here. Something we talked about on the show yesterday, which did come true, was the Cam Schlittler bounce back. You had sort of mentioned that you probably thought that was going to be the case. He was dominant, and the game did stay under. So that's something that we talked about, the under 7.5 being in play. It was a 5-1 final. The Rays were the hottest team on planet Earth, and suddenly they've lost 3 straight. So our feature game tonight, Yankees-Rays, TBS, Tropicana Field, second game of a 4-game set. Kick us off with this one.
Yeah, like Adam mentioned, it is $5 Tuesday. I have 2 plays out. Adam has one out. Brian definitely will have one out today. So good time to get a double play or just grab a bunch of single plays of ours for $5. It's a good day for that. We put out, no matter what the value are, they're all $5 except 5%ers. So grab those. Yes. It's just a thing about baseball. Like I say, the ebb and flow of baseball. When elite pitchers have a horrible game, they almost always bounce back. So I'm going to be all over Sanchez in his start. And I knew Schlittler was going to have a good game yesterday. I just didn't trust the Yankee bats. But they scored just enough. You know, when Schlittler holds the other team down to 1 or 2 runs, you don't really need a lot to win the game. So there are a couple of pitchers in that position today, which we will get to as the show goes on. Regarding this game, everything to me points Tampa Bay today. I've got Seymour 8 spots higher than Will Warren. I've got Tampa's bullpen 6 spots higher than the Yankees, and I've got Tampa Bay's hitting in current form almost 20 spots ahead of the Yankees. So it would be Tampa or nothing for me in this one. You find a way to bet them somehow. I'm not convinced that the Yankees are out of their free fall yet, even though they're starting to show some signs, but they just keep dropping the ball. The bad news bears. Without Judge, hard to back this team, in my opinion.
It's a good point. You know, it's something that we talked about way back. I think it was Brian ahead of the series with the Guardians. Judge goes down. He's going to be down for a period of time. And, previous 5 years, Aaron Judge out of the lineup, the Yankees play something like 440 win percentage baseball. And they had those couple of wins out of the gate, probably relative to maybe their opponent at the time. But since, if you look at the body of work since he's been out, I don't have it in front of me right here, but it's probably not far from that. Are the Yankees still a fade without Judge for you right now?
Well, they are today, and this is going to be my part of the parlay. We'll get it over really quick. I'm going to play Tampa Bay here. Let me get to the lines first. Tampa Bay with Seymour, the lefty, against Warren. He's about maybe about a 118. 118 out there right now. You can get better than that, but 118 with a total of 8. And when I take a look at Will Warren, I've talked in the past about I prefer him pitching at home, but take a look at what the teams that he has faced as of late offensively. Last time out, Detroit. Detroit's not been a good hitting team all year long. Before that, they played Boston. Boston, until the last week or so, has not been a good hitting team. Before that, Cincinnati. They played Toronto twice, and Toronto's a team that's underperformed offensively for their better players. Cleveland, the Athletics, Kansas City. He's had a lot of easy games he's played, and if you take a look at his game scores, you got to go all the way back to like May 12th against Baltimore. He had a 63. Everything else has been lower. 32 and 37 against Boston, Cincinnati, 36 against Toronto. So he's not pitching well. And when you look at Tampa Bay in division has been a terrific team over the years. When they're playing at home, they are very good. And if you take a look at the Yankees, the only thing that you could say right now about the Yankees is the bullpen looks in pretty good shape right now for tonight's game. But Will Warren on the season is ranked 58th overall from a power rank over at Fangraphs, but he's 135 the last 2 weeks. And none of the Yankees pitchers really, other than Schlittler, he had that one bad outing where he gave up 4 home runs. But other than that, he's been terrific. But the rest of the guys have struggled. Weathers has struggled. Cole has been up and down. So I want to fade the Yankees here with the Tampa Bay team that, as you mentioned, off of a couple of losses, the Yankees are facing a lefty, and Seymour is a guy that I like better and better the more I see him. So I'm going to play Tampa Bay, and that'll be my part of the parlay today.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just was doing some quick math here, and it looks like the Yankees this year, again, don't quote me on this. I just kind of did this very quickly by hand. Looks like they're 14 and 17 without Aaron Judge this year, which would fall right in line with what they've been the last 5 years without him in the lineup. That's about, so again, per my very, very quick and not checked math, that's about a 450 win percentage, 14 and 17. And since 2021, it looks like they are 52 and 59 without Judge, 469 win percentage. Now, the interesting thing here is because the Yankees during that stretch, 14 and 17, they've won just enough to, I think, sort of just like people kind of forget that Judge isn't there, right? They've done just enough winning during that stretch to still be taken seriously as the Yankees. But there's no question when he's out of the lineup, they're a worse bet. And I don't think the books have sort of adjusted enough over that period of time. So I do think it's still relevant. As far as Ian Seymour, Brian, I'm with you. I like Seymour a lot better than Warren. This is a guy that 2024 and most of 2025, when he was at AAA, was always way near the top of my power ratings at AAA. At one point last year, prior to being called up, he was number 1 in my AAA starting pitcher power ratings. What happened was the Rays called him up and started using him out of the bullpen. His major league debut actually was, I believe, out of the bullpen in the 10th inning against the Red Sox, right? And then they kind of didn't have a spot for him in the rotation, kind of used him out of the bullpen a little bit, sent him back down to AAA. It was one of those things where I don't think he could ever really get comfortable last year because he was up, he was down, he was in the bullpen, he was out of the bullpen, he would spot start here and there. So far this year, really good, not surprising to me. All of the, expected ERA is really good. Expected batting average is 207. He gives up fly balls. But again, we've talked about this. At the Trop, take a fly ball pitcher at the Trop. It's not Coors Field. We're not at Southern Health. This is a ballpark where you'll take a fly ball pitcher any day of the week. I think he's better than Warren. And the Rays, but Warren's the type of guy that the Rays can sort of like 1,000 paper cuts, right? Like they can put the ball in play off of him. It's not a dominant guy like Schlittler. I like your pick for the parlay, Brian. I think the Rays win here as well. All right, Tokyo Brandon. Let's go back to the chat. Padres yesterday was my play for the parlay, which did not get there. I know you hit your parlay. I think we would have gone 1 and 2 in the parlay yesterday, but the Padres was a no doubt loser. And so Lando in the chat says Padres are going to get their get back. This would be in San Diego tonight. Diamondbacks Padres. So to you, do the Padres get it back here? Or do they bounce back with a win in game 2 of the series?
So I just did a little research while you were talking, and I just pulled up the last 10. Worst team in MLB the last 10 games, the Padres. They have 32 runs for and 83 against, and they are 1 win and 9 losses. That is awful. But the thing about this team is they're such an enigma. I mean, they've got such good names on their roster. So don't know how this happens. It's like one of those things. How is this happening? Fortunately for them, they go against Zach Allen today. He's been pretty awful. He's only 30 years old. To me, it seems like he's been in the league for 30 years, but obviously he wasn't in the league when he was a baby. So last time out, 6 earned, 5 earned, 9 earned. That's 20 earned runs in his last 3 starts. That's just really bad. Doesn't matter if it's home or away. I think the Padres will get to him. Right now, the Padres are favored, even though they haven't decided who they're pitching. Usually when teams, now I don't have any scoop information about what they're going to do. Maybe you guys can enlighten the crowd. But what's that?
Marquez is coming back from the IL.
Oh, German Marquez. Okay. Yeah. Well, he probably won't go very deep. And right now I got the Padres bullpen ranked dead last in MLB. Now I know talent-wise they're not the worst bullpen, but they've just been performing awful. But we've made this point on previous shows. When you're a losing team, you're not exactly using your best arms out there because you're just trying to end the game and go home. So don't really know what to make of this, but I think the Padres will score some runs here. So I might think about a Padres team total over, whether it be the first 5 or full game, although I haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, I could definitely see runs in this one. I knee-jerk reaction for me, kind of seeing how that played out last night and knowing that the Padres were likely going to go with a couple righties today, which to come right back with the Padres here against Zach Gallen. But yeah, you're probably looking at Marquez coming off the IL for a period of time, maybe Johnny Brito for a period of time. So it does look like, Brian, like maybe a little bit of a piggyback type situation with the Padres where Marquez might go 3 or 4. They might bring someone else to go 3 or 4. Yeah. One thing I'll say about Padres bullpen though, I mean, when they're on, like this should be the best bullpen in the league. How are they that to me is puzzling because their high leverage guys are as good as it gets. I'm inclined to run it back with the Padres here, maybe even for the parlay. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, very much the same. First thing I looked at when I saw the pitching matchup is what's the total? And the total, you can get 8.5 over 25, or you can get 9 under about 23 or something. But yeah, it's a higher scoring game in San Diego. And that's what you would expect with Gallen and Marquez. Is it possible I trust Marquez more than Gallen? It may be. I mean,
no,
I do.
Gallen just hasn't had it. Is TB mentioned his age? I just assumed he was in his mid-30s or close to it by this point. Been around a long time. I was kind of surprised they brought him back. I thought they were going to let him go, but he's been an innings eater for them, and I guess maybe they need that a little bit. We know Colorado brings back innings eaters every single year just so they've got somebody that can pitch. But yeah, San Diego looked terrible last night, got behind early and never never come around. I wish I could trust their hitters a little bit more. But yeah, you would think it'd be a higher scoring game, but I'm starting to get as much flummoxed as you guys are with San Diego. I know TB's got bad luck with them, and yeah, they're a tough team to figure out.
Yeah, they really are, because again, I'll say, I've said this on like basically every show that they come up on. I still think that you're gonna see the talent they have on their team is proven talent. It's guys that have won, or that have been really good players throughout their careers. We're not talking about like just like average players. We're talking about all-star caliber talent. Machado, Tatis, Jackson Merrill, Bogarts, like. And these are all guys that are collectively underachieving. So like I really think that at some point in time, like let's say like two of these guys get going. Because again, the thing that's important to note here is the Padres are hanging around 500. I mean, they went into that Dodger series, I think 500 now after the loss last night. They're 44 and 46. So it's not like they've been terrible. It's not like they've played like badly. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty average. Like there's a lot of teams. Like just to put something into perspective, there are teams that are 44 and 46, and we're like, hey, this team's playing pretty good baseball. It's just that it's the Padres, and and everyone had such higher expectations for them that the 44 and 46 looks bad, and yet they've gotten there with their team massively underachieving. So I'm going to continue to look at it the same way. The other thing I'm going to look at here, so I'm going to use I'm going to go back with the Padres. That's going to be my parlay leg today. This is something that I may add for clients if I get a slightly better number. I think the only thing I was a little surprised at, guys, was to see Padres get blown out last night and then have to take a worse number than I could have gotten yesterday, right? Padres yesterday, now it did move, but it was minus 109 when we were on the show yesterday. I think we probably used minus 110 in the parlay. Today it comes out and it's minus 120. So I was surprised to see that sort of tax added in, because I'll go back to, and TV, did you want to jump back in here? Sorry, what did you have something else to add earlier? I went to Brian. I didn't know if you were going to add something.
No, I said my piece. Manny Machado's a great hitter, and he's hitting under 200. I agree with you that the only way for the Padres hitting to go is up, though. But no, I don't have anything to add.
So, I mean, listen, if there was ever a night where the Padres are going to break out offensively, it has to be against Zach Gallen. He's been terrible this year. His advanced metrics are as bad as you're going to find in the league. The Padres have seen him a ton. This should be a very good matchup for the Padres. I don't know if this is a great matchup for the Diamondbacks offensively, because, yeah, Marquez is someone that, used to get bombed in Coors and then got hurt and didn't have a great start to his Padres career. But as I said yesterday, Arizona's dead last in Major League Baseball in WRC Plus against right-handed pitching. Now, they did get some offense going yesterday, but here you're likely to see Marquez for 3 or 4, and I think it's going to be Johnny Brito for 3 or 4. 2 righties, 2 different looks. And then if you do get to the late innings of this game, you've got the Padres' best bullpen arms, which should be the best in the league. So, again, I think this sets up nicely for the Padres if they can score some off Gallen. Something I'm very strongly considering for my clients today, and this will be my leg of the parlay. So we've knocked 2 of them out real quick here in the first two plays of the show. Everyone's always like, "Hey, we need picks on the show." We came out hot today with 2, and again, that might be one I add. Keeping it if I do add that one. So, quick promo for the site. I do have a 4% play up on my page for $5. These guys will have $5 stuff as well for $5 Tuesday. If Padres makes my client card, I'm just going to put that up on my free picks page at WagerTalk. So keep an eye every day. If you go to WagerTalk website, there is a free picks tab, and you can see free picks from us and all the other handicappers on the site. So keep an eye on that as well. Someone's like, F the Padres, their ass. Yeah, they have been. Listen, they absolutely have been, but we're less concerned with what they've been and more concerned with what they could be today or what they could eventually be. And no question, Zach Gallen has equally deserves that tag as well. So do what you will with that. Tokyo Brandon, coming back to you. 1,000 Sword says, first of all, thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. And he says Cubs Orioles over 6.5. Fade Seth Lugo today. Do you agree or disagree? Cubs Orioles to you.
Yeah. Again, it's $5 Tuesday, guys. grab something for $5. Everything's free or $5 on WagerTalk site, except 5% plays. Most of us cappers won't put a 5% play out today because it's hard to sell it when everything's $5. So grab a $5 play. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Cubs have been really up and down. Don't know what to make of this team, but looking at my numbers, I love Matthew Boyd's history against these Oriole batters. Very good. Although his expected numbers are not great. Against this team, he's been extremely solid, where Baz has not been. Orioles have a huge bullpen advantage, though. I got them ranked 6, where I got the Cubs ranked 22. This is current form, though. This is not what it is. This is just current form. But Cubs have the big hitting advantage, so I think it's Cubs first 5. I think that would be a good play here because I trust Boyd a lot more than Baz in who they're facing today. So if I were to play this, it'd be Cubs first 5 money line.
Yeah, I think I might try to find a way in with the Cubs here. I don't know if I'll play this one either, but I do like your thought process there, Brian. Cubs, Orioles, how are you seeing this one?
Yeah, Boyd the lefty against Boz the righty. We're looking at Chicago at about a 112 favorite, 9.5 to the under, minus 120. Baltimore hasn't hit lefties this year. They're only got an 89, I believe, WRC plus on the season. Boyd being in the National League, they don't see him very often. And I like the situation that TB talked about where he's got pretty good numbers against him. I like Boyd. And when he's healthy, I want to play him. Baz has pitched better than he did earlier in the season. So both guys, I think, will give a pretty good effort here. But the total at 9.5, this is a better hitting ballpark this year. Obviously, they moved the fences in and all. But that looks a little high to me at 9.5. There's a couple 9s out there, but 9.5 minus 120 is something I'm somewhat interested in because as we've seen before, the Cubs, the offense one day they can score 10, the next day they can score 0. They've been very inconsistent. But I kind of like the Cubs in this game. If I'm playing, I'm laying, as Teddy Covers would say. But Boyd's the guy I'm looking for here against a Baltimore team that hasn't hit lefties very well.
Yeah, and also it's a Baltimore team that just isn't a great baseball team. Like you watch this team, like simple stuff out of this team, they really fail in the execution department a lot of times. And so, you look at these two teams, just forget where the game's being played, forget who's pitching for a second. Like when I look at the Cubs and the Orioles, like to me, there's a reason. I can find reasons why the Cubs are 50 and 40. And I can also find reasons why the Orioles are 42 and 49. And yet here you are. Yes, the game's at Camden Yards. Yes, you have to worry about like, okay, like is are the Cubs, they're going on the road. It's right before the All-Star break. Is it a bad spot for them? Well, you know what? They didn't play particularly well over the weekend against the Cardinals. Obviously, the 17-1 loss is what sticks out there. But then they came out the next day and got shut out. So, it'll be interesting to see how the Cubs play on this road trip. Of course, they're going Baltimore to Cincinnati, 6 games, and then they're going into the All-Star break. But like if the Cubs show up here, they're just a better team than the Orioles. And I would prefer, listen, big red flag if the Rays give up on you as a pitcher, okay? These days with what the Rays do with pitching and what they've been able to do with Griffin Jacks, what they've been able to do with the pitchers in the organization, if they're giving up on a homegrown guy and they say, hey, we're good, see you later, we've done all we can at this point, big red flag. And that's kind of how I feel about Shane Baz because they tried with him and eventually they were like, enough's enough. Go ahead, pawned him off on the Orioles. And to me, like, they're just, if they felt like he was fixable or that they could get more out of him, I think they would have kept him. So again, red flag for me with Baz. He's been a little bit better of late, but it's not like he's been great since showing up in Baltimore. Whips close to like 1-4. It's been better of late. Last time out against the White Sox was pretty good. But again, he's still got some crooked numbers in there. Start before that, got hit hard by the Angels. More hit hard than not this year. If you look at this and just do the simple math, comparable starting pitching, I think most would say that the Cubs probably just bullpen's probably a little bit deeper, a little bit better. Then you just have these teams Like, to me, the Cubs are just a far superior team. Why would you not take them at -110? If you're TB, even if you think the pitching is comparable, why would you not take them for the first 5? It's a better baseball team. So I'm with you guys. I like the Cubs as well. All right, we're moving along today. Let's go to Corey Johnson. Interesting game right here, Tokyo Brandon. I'm going to come to you first. Leaning White Sox or Red Sox tonight? This is going to be Tolley and Noah Schultz, couple good young pitchers, and Chicago playing decent ball this year. They've got the White Sox at home. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, hitting wise, White Sox have a bit of an advantage here. Got them ranked 12, while I have the Red Sox ranked 15. So not a huge difference. The big difference between these two teams right now in current form is the White Sox bullpen playing much better than the Red Sox bullpen. But then I have Tolley ranked a lot higher than Noah Schultz. So one area there's a big discrepancy, and then the last area they're kind of even. Schultz is the guy I've wanted to fade this season. He looks bad. Watched one of his games, just doesn't look good. And it's not just the ERA, just something's not right. I think Boston's going to tee off on him. Again, their lineup is pretty mediocre. Actually, got them ranked 15 out of 30. But yeah, I think against a pitcher like this, they can do some serious damage. Tolley, I think, is better than his numbers show. Pretty good pitcher. I don't know, maybe Boston first 5 or a Boston team total over. Somehow I'll try to piece together something where I can fade Schultz because I just don't like what I see.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Brian, I'll come to you. Like Noah Schultz, I would say both of these guys were sort of like similarly touted coming out of their respective organizations. Of course, the Red Sox made the move to Tolley last year when they were trying to make the playoffs, and that was sort of like their big statement, right? Like we're gonna get Connolly early and Tolley up, and we're gonna ride these young guys and see if we can get them into the playoffs. Get him into the playoffs. Whereas the White Sox, far more conservative with Noah Schultz. Remember, Noah Schultz, a first rounder, 2022 draft first round pick, a southpaw. They protected him a little bit more in the minor league level. I also don't think he teared through the minor leagues the way Tolley did. And he kind of got up this year, Brian, if you remember, they had a day. It was like Noah Schultz day. And it was like a big deal when he was about to debut. TB, I'm with you. I haven't been as impressed as I think that, I maybe they build him to be. And I'm still a little bit higher on Tolley than Schultz as well. So lean Red Sox for me. Brian, how are you seeing Red Sox, White Sox?
Yeah, Red Sox about a 121, 122 favorite, a total 8.5 to the under. Both teams have hit lefties pretty well this year. Tolley's been more proven, no doubt about it. Schultz just has not been there. And you mentioned, I remember when they brought him up, and that was the big deal. He was the big guy coming up, and he has not performed well as of yet. And until he does, I don't know if I want to back him. I do like playing lefties. There's a lot of lefties going on today's card in Major League Baseball, so I think we're going to see some advantages in that. But these two teams happen to hit lefties pretty well, as I mentioned. From an offensive standpoint, I like both offenses. They both got some younger players in it. And I'm kind of like TC. I think they're going to get to Schultz a little bit here. So the line seems to be about where I would make it. So I'm not seeing any advantage there. But keep in mind, the White Sox just played that big series against Cleveland for first place in the division. When was the last time the White Sox had played meaningful games this deep into the season? So it could be a little bit of a letdown here. Boston's a team used to playing meaningful games, and I think they're getting a little bit of confidence here. So slight lean here with Boston, but I don't think I'm going to get there.
Yeah, and the other thing here is like the Red Sox don't exactly have the luxury of like just coasting into the All-Star break. They played so poorly to start the season that they do need to make up for lost time. And the final thing I'll say, just in support of like the Red Sox, because again, this is another one that I am considering today. Haven't bet it yet, but it's certainly on my radar. Noah Schultz has the look, like if you're an old school baseball guy, he's got the look of like you see him And TB, like back in your scouting days, you would have saw Noah Schultz and been like, yeah, that's a first rounder right there. He's 6'10 lefty, throws hard, throws like 96 miles an hour. He's just got the look of a guy that you would, Randy Johnson-esque, right? Like 6'10 lefty, throws hard. When you look at the underlying stuff at the big league level this year, not great. Expected ERA is 5.50. He's getting very little swing and miss. He's wild. So it's like he's getting very little swing and miss, and guys aren't chasing out of the zone on him because he's not super consistent. He doesn't pound the zone, so he's not super consistent in the zone. To me, that's like, maybe they were right to be a little bit more conservative with him at the minor league level, and maybe he actually needed more time down there because, in my opinion, he's got some command issues that really need to be ironed out before he's going to be really good at the big league level. If you guys remember, Tolley kind of did that, right? He got up, got a taste of the big leagues. I think they sent him back for a little bit to work on some stuff, and now he looks great. He looks great. All of his expected metrics are really good. So far this year, 1.12 whip, 3.39 ERA. Red Sox need this game, and the more I talk about it, the more I like the Red Sox here. This might end up on my card. Go ahead, TB.
Just a quick point, 10-second point here. As a scout, you do look at the guy's body, and I don't mean that in a weird, way. You got to have a baseball body. You can't be like this guy who slouches over and like really tiny and stuff. So there's two types of bodies that I like, and one is the hulking kind of burly guy, and then the other is the Darvish type, like a rubber band guy. Darvish is like a human rubber band. He just whips it out. Another point I want to make is pitching is not just good stuff, but it's mental. How you use your pitches is very important. That's 40% of if you're a good pitcher or not is how you use your pitcher. So you have to have good stuff, but you have to use it right as well. So just a couple points there. So he might have good stuff. He's just not using it right, possibly.
Yeah, and this is also why you see guys that are not that stature fall and then become sort of diamonds in the rough, right? Because that is how they're evaluated. But remember this, teams, organizations have a hard time being honest with themselves when it's a guy they drafted like 10th overall first round pick. And some of these organizations will square peg into the round hole with some of these guys because if they don't, someone has to admit they messed up, right? Someone in the organization is going to have to admit they messed up. Now, I'm not saying they messed up with Noah Schultz at all, but do I think maybe he probably needs more time in the minors and he's a little bit behind schedule at this point for a first rounder? Yeah, I do. And if they're going to continue to run him out here and he's going to continue to pitch the way he's pitching, he's probably going to be a good fade. I think he's a good fade tonight. All right, back to the chat. Let's go back to the chat here. Let's see. Here's a good one. Couple people want to talk Marlins. This is a very, very interesting game. The Marlins, Tokyo Brandon, you talked about your generational cover on Sunday. Playing against the Marlins, 8-0 lead. Yuri Perez is a perfect game, and somehow you sneak out with the money with a +1.5 bet in a game that finishes 9-8. That being said, they still pulled off the sweep in that series. The Marlins have played as good as anyone since June 1st. But now they take on a team that I think a lot of us thought coming into the year was a lot better than the Marlins. That's, of course, the Mariners. And we have a very interesting pitching matchup here with two guys that I like. So talk to me about Marlins Mariners. Do you have a winner in this one, TB?
Nothing's a lock in sports betting, but I really like the Marlins today, and I'll tell you why. Brian Wu, great pitcher. Matter of fact, I thought he was the best number 3 guy in any rotation in MLB last year, but he struggles on the road, and there's just no way around it. He's got probably the biggest home road discrepancy of all Major League Baseball starters. 2.10 ERA at home and a 6.38 on the road, and you can't ignore that. I understand ERA is not the tell-all statistic, but you just can't ignore that. He doesn't have a history against these guys, but I've got, Miami's, they're going to be a playoff team. Holy cow. Both of these guys have good command. Neither one of them are walking people, but I just don't know why Brian Wu can't put it together on the road. He was like this last year too. I remember I backed him last year against the Yankees and he just got crushed in New York. And you don't expect that from Wu because he's a really good pitcher. But actually, I got Max Meyer ranked higher than him, about 3 points higher. Bullpens, I have them pretty equal. But man, Seattle just can't hit. They did put up 11 runs the other day, but aside from that game, they're one of the lowest scoring teams in MLB. I got them ranked 21 out of 30. I got Miami ranked 2. So give me Miami here. There's a couple ways you could approach this. I don't know if money line is the best way to approach it, but definitely Miami, somehow I want to back them. And I also think a Seattle team total under would also be good. There's one red flag there, though, because for some reason on Tuesdays, the scores seem to be really high. I don't know if one of you guys can shed some light on that, but I'm very nervous to bet unders on a Tuesday for some odd reason. But those are some ways I would approach it.
I got nothing on that. Brian, go ahead.
I will say, team offenses perform better when they have a day off, and a lot of times on a Monday, teams get days off. So it makes sense to me. I don't know the actual numbers.
That could be it.
I'm in agreement when it comes to this game. If you take a Brian Wu, his home ERA is in the 2s, his road ERA is in the 6s. Obviously, ERA doesn't mean everything. But if you take a look at the outlying numbers, it's clear that he's not the same pitcher at home as he is on the road. He's given up, I think, 2 home runs on the season at home, 7 when he goes on the road. I will say that Seattle bullpen's in really good shape for tonight, and they may have to go to that earlier. I do like their bullpen. Right now, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Their top 5 guys are all within the top 100. So their bullpen's pitching very well. And I like this Miami team, and obviously we've talked about this in the past. We like the young hitters that they have. They're maintaining. They don't hit for a lot of power, but they're maintaining, getting on base. Take a look at the last 7 days for Miami. These are all guys hitting in the top 100. Hicks 29, Stowers 11, Lopez 5, Edwards 19, Mack 83, Sonoya 21. They're hitting very well right now, and they're going up against a guy who doesn't pitch well on the road. Their bullpen also is in pretty good shape. Fairbanks has only pitched once this week, although I think Fairbanks, his best days are behind him. He can't stay healthy, and he's not being very impressive to me. But they've got other guys in the bullpen that I really like. I think Michael Peterson will eventually become their closer. Eventually, I like what he does. But for me, when you take a look at a game, and it's basically somewhat of a pick 'em. You got Miami at about a 114 or whatever, the total of 8. I like Miami. I think this is a good spot for them. And the Brian Wu, a lot of people just see the overall numbers for Seattle. That's why they always rank the Seattle pitchers so much higher than what they should be, is because their ERAs are good because they pitch in a really good pitcher's park. But when they go out on the road, like I said, 7 home runs on the road, 2 at home. I like Miami in this game.
I like the under. I kind of thought this would be 7.5. I'm just sort of here looking at my numbers, and I'm on the other side of 7. I just want to go back to that game and get it exactly. I'm at 7.8 for a total. So again, like this is one where it's like, I don't know. I feel like, yesterday I kind of talked about in the Yankees-Rays game. I was like, man, I'm surprised they didn't force you to take an under 7 there, is what was my comment from yesterday's show. I'm kind of surprised they're not forcing you to take an under 7.5 here. It feels like you're getting a little extra value with that with that being an under 8. I expect both these pitchers to pitch well. I'm still probably higher on Brian Wu than maybe Mo Star. I know he had a couple of blow-up starts this year that really kind of have skewed his overall numbers. That ERA is north of 4, which for him during his career is a little bit shocking just because of how strong he had been in his career at the big league level up to that point. But last time out, 6 1/3, 5 strikeouts, 2 runs, felt like he pitched well. 2 starts prior to that, 7 shutout innings against the Orioles, 9 strikeouts. He's certainly got it in him. And we've talked about Max Meyer on this show pretty much every time he pitches, and it's always glowing. He's as good as it gets. So I like both bullpens. Listen, even though the Marlins had a near blow up on Sunday, part of the reason that happened was they were like, okay, it's 8-0. Yuri Perez is at 92 pitches. we prefer to not gas them out if we don't need to. And they kind of try to go with some of their like mop-up guys, and the A's got some hits and they put themselves in a little bit of a spot. But they had yesterday off. Bullpen's rested. Mariners bullpen's rested. I think this is a low-scoring game. And I can't talk you guys off the Marlins because that is the way I lean if you force me to pick a side. But for me, it would be under 8.
As a matter of fact, when I looked over this game, I do it before I look at the numbers. And I was thinking, man, if Seattle is 4.5, I'm going to smash that. But unfortunately, they were 3.5. So.
All right, let's go to, first of all, again, guys, thank you for the donations. All the donations to the show do go to charity. Our home office works with a couple of different ones, and all of these get donated to charity. And so we very much appreciate that. WagerTalk very much appreciates that. And we'll try to get the games that you're asking for attached to the donation into the show. Yeah, we got a doubleheader today. So I'm going to just sort of throw this out to you, Brian. I'll let you kick this off. You don't have to talk both games. Is there a way into the doubleheader, Brewers Cardinals, in either game 1 or game 2 for you?
No comment on this because we don't know who's going to be pitching. And I know Dobbins, I believe, is going to pitch one of the games for St. Louis. Don't know which one yet. So it's too many question marks at this point to make any comments on this.
So, Tokyo Brandon, I do think it's going to be Mizorowski in the day game. That's something that looks to be sort of confirmed at this point. But yeah, Brian is right. The Cardinals, they could go with Dobbins. I think McGreevy could potentially pitch. So I guess I'll throw my quick comments out just to give Freebird something here, and I'll let you follow up. For me, I would love to find a way to play the Cardinals at some point today. Now, going against Mizorowski is a little bit more difficult. I'd be interested to see who the Cardinals put up against him. I think if it's, I think for me, I almost am going to go into this and say, hopefully the Brewers get game 1 with Mizorowski on the mound. He's not the guy that I really want to go against right now. But what I will hope for, and so Freebird, I'll give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm looking for, what I'm hoping for. Give me a close Brewers win in game 1, because that will mean that they've won like 3 close games, that their bullpen is pretty cooked. I played the Brewers on Sunday. I got a win. They needed every bit of that bullpen to get that 3-2 win against the Diamondbacks. Yesterday, they come out. It's a 4-3 game. McGill pitches again. Chad Patrick and Drohan kind of saved him a little bit yesterday, but you'll still have, like what I'm hoping is maybe Uribe gets in the first game, and now suddenly they're going into the nightcap of the doubleheader without some of their top bullpen arms. That, if that's the case, I'm taking the Cardinals in game 2, or at least going to very strongly consider doing that. So, TD, any comments to close us out on Brewers Cardinals, the doubleheader for you today?
Yeah, just some betting advice, and guys who have been betting for a long time, like my colleagues here and myself, will tell you that you never say never, but we will almost never bet game 2 of a doubleheader because we don't know what's going to happen in game 1. I will sometimes bet game 1 if I know. And if you guys know me by now, I don't like X factors in games. There are quite a lot of X factors here, but there's one thing that's not an X factor, which is Mizorowski and how he pitches against St. Louis. St. Louis, surprisingly, is hitting really well right now, and got him in the top 10. Got the Brewers very mediocre, but a great pitcher always can neutralize good hitting. And I think a St. Louis team total under might be a good play here. If you can get a 3.5, I don't see anything wrong with that. Mizorowski had a bad game his last time out, but like we talked at the top of the show, elite pitchers, and I'm talking like top 10, top 15 guys. I'm not talking, like Matthew Boyd type guys. I'm talking like Mizorowski type pitchers and Wheeler and these kind of guys. When they have a bad game, they almost always bounce back. So I think he will. So St. Louis under, I think, would be a good play in game 1 and avoid game 2.
Oh, see, so here's the thing. Like, I'm all about betting game 2 of doubleheaders, but I have to see what happens in game 1 first. Right. I can't bet a game 2 until I watch game 1. And what I'm telling you here right now, what I'm watching for, give me a close Brewers win. Give me a close Brewers win where Mizorowski, Tokyo Brandon, a low-scoring game would help the cause. Give it to me like 4-2. Have Uribe come in and get the save, and suddenly the Brewers are in game 2. Maybe it's Robert Gasser on the mound. Maybe they go opener in front of someone, and suddenly they're going to need to piece it together with like the 3, 4, 5, and 6 options in their bullpen if it comes to that. that's the scenario where I think I would really like the Cardinals at home if that becomes the case.
Relief pitchers hate doubleheaders because they're doing nothing almost the whole time. It's like an entire day of doing nothing. It's like being in jail.
Oh yeah, if you're in a reliever and you're not getting in until game 2, you kind of have to keep yourself ready
So horrible.
in some capacity for like a full day.
They hate it. They hate it.
True, Brent TV. That's a great point. You don't mind if you're pitching in game 1 because it's like, well, then you probably get to just put the slides on, kick your feet up in game 2. You probably know you're not pitching. Very rarely, every once in a while, you'll see it. Guy will pitch game 1.
They hate it.
Yeah. That's a really good point. But yeah, Cardinals in game 2 will be the way I look if I get the game 1 that I want. Brian, I'm coming to you. We can squeeze another one. Get the donations flowing in. We got to get these in. Alex Rand says Guardians Twins. Do you have an opinion in this one? These are your Cleveland Guardians on the road here.
Yeah, the Twins against lefties. Minnesota's got an 89 WRC plus on the season as opposed to 112 versus righties. I like Joey Cantillo. But Taj Bradley, other than a couple bad starts, he's having a terrific season. We're looking at basically maybe a 115 on Minnesota with a total of 8.5. I've been looking at this game a lot today, and I think the line's probably correct in this one. I do like Cantillo a little bit better than Bradley, but Minnesota's got clearly better hitters at this point. Cleveland's hit better since Ramirez is out than I thought they would, and they're still like a run less per game. So they just don't have enough power on this team in that regard. They brought up Engel, who I was really excited about. He is blown up. He's got like one hit since they brought him up. They put him in left field. He's a terrible left fielder because he's only played left field just to get into the lineup in Cleveland. It would not surprise me if he gets sent down after the All-Star break here and they decide to do something else. But, Cleveland's given to their credit. They're trying to get some hitters up here. I don't know why Ralphie is still down in the minors. They need to bring him up. He's their future, Ralphie Vasquez. So we'll see what happens with Cleveland after the break. I did hear that Ramirez said just the other day that he's going to see everybody in 3 weeks. So he's probably going to be back the second week after the All-Star break. 1 week is everybody's off, so that helps them. So they'll be a different team when they get him back. But right now, I don't trust the Cleveland Bats, and so maybe 8.5 to the under might be a decent bet. But I can't get there. Can't find a way to play this one as of yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. This was one I kind of looked at. Thought the line was spot on, and really just a very good game. Pretty competitive. I'm kind of Tokyo Brandon. I'm kind of finding redeeming qualities on both sides, and then things I don't like about both sides. So kind of an easy pass for me. Anything Guardians Twins for you?
Not really. I'm not going to bet this game because the books nailed it. And we're not betting games because we're fans of teams. We're not betting games because we like this and that. We're betting games because we can find kind of an advantage where the lines are off. And I agree with both of you guys, the lines on. Let me say one thing about Taj Bradley, though. I love him. He is the ultimate innings eater. He's not flashy, but he never gets like blown up, and he always stays out there for 5 or 6 innings. He's the ultimate innings eater in my book. If you look in the dictionary, innings eater, I think he would come up. So I love Taj Bradley, but not much on this game. I'm not going to bet it. Sorry to disappoint the commenters.
TB, before I come back to you for your parlay leg, I think you make a good point. And so I'll go to the chat. Russell Deck says, isn't there value on Cleveland? Twins aren't doing much offensively. I think what puts me off of playing Cleveland is Taj Bradley because he's kind of the one guy. He's kind of the one starter right now. Well, other than Joe Ryan, which is like the obvious. But Bradley's kind of a guy that I think he's a really pretty good MLB starter that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle. That sometimes the books will give you decent prices on. But I can't play him here because I kind of like Cantillo as well. So that's kind of the point I was trying to make is I see redeeming qualities for both pitchers. I don't love either bullpen enough to take an under. Certainly don't love the Twins relief situation. So it's just a tough game. And on a 16-game slate, I think we outlined some better ones. Tokyo Brandon, though, we need your pick for the parlay. Where are you going to go to close this parlay out?
So I just saw someone in the chat asking for it. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to take the Dodgers because I love Robelski and I do not like Lorenzen. I know it's minus 270. I would not put this out for my clients as a play to sell, but for a one leg of a 3-leg parlay, I think minus 280 is okay. So I'm going to do it. Let me make some comments about yesterday's game. The Dodgers and Tanner Scott looks bad, and Dodgers got lucky to eke out that win, and that's kind of soul crushing for the other team. Colorado does have a good lineup, but Dodgers lineup is better. So given the fact that Robelski is a better pitcher than Lorenzen, Robelski is at home and he has great stats against Colorado. I don't see Colorado winning this. So that's what I'll do with my parlay leg.
Brian, I think you're actually getting more like 260, 265 on this. And TB, I don't disagree with you. I think the Dodgers probably destroy Lorenzen here. Can the Rockies score enough to keep pace again to squeak out a 1-run loss? I don't know. They were down 6-3 last night and sort of magically got back into that game. I'm kind of with you, TV. I think the Dodgers. This feels like a spot where they play well. And if their bats are cooking against Lorenzen, they're going to score double-digit runs probably. Brian, what are you looking at here?
They're about a 270 favorite right now. Colorado has been in this situation how many times over the years where they're winning that game, they think they got to win, and then the bullpen blows it. It's more of the same for Colorado. It's not like some other team that you expected it to. It's like growing up, the Yankees could be down 8-0 in the 5th inning. They're not out of the game. That's the way the Dodgers are. The Dodgers are a team that takes a lot to put them away. You'll get a game that they just don't show up for, like Philadelphia did yesterday. The teams have that, but on a day-to-day basis, the Dodgers are the way to go. But I will bounce back a little bit with TB because he hates Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott is ranked as the 8th best relief pitcher in baseball this year. He hasn't been great lately. He blew the save last night, but overall, you take a look at his numbers. His ERA is less than 3. His WHIP is less than 1. That's a good reliever for me. And I do have to say that Evan Phillips just came back from the IL, gives them another solid arm in that bullpen. They've got the Dodgers bullpen is really good. So, it's similar to the Philadelphia game yesterday. I can't see how it's going to lose, but it does
and
happen.
It's going to now.
Yeah.
And it will.
Yeah, listen, you guys know I love my Rockies plus 1.5 when the spot is good. Yesterday it got there somehow. Don't know how that quite got there, but it did. This is not a spot I would make that bet. Michael Lorenzen is as bad of a starting pitcher as you're going to find in Major League Baseball. He's got a 6.91 ERA, but all the expected numbers suggest that that's an accurate result for him. A 1.81 WHIP is like borderline criminal for a big league starting pitcher. Like you should not be starting games in Major League Baseball.
Even Colorado with
a 1.81 WHIP this far into the season. Again, doesn't get any swing and miss. He's not going to strike anyone out. He's giving up hard contact at as high of a rate of any starting pitcher in the majors. Like, again, anything can happen. And I love the fact that the Rockies play hard on a night in and night out basis. Credit to them. They seem to never quit. They're a bunch of young guys that play hard. But tell me how if the Dodgers even care an ounce about this game, that they aren't putting up a 10 spot here. Like, and okay, so you're going to get another 10-9 final? TV, I kind of listen. I don't like laying 1.5 with the home team. My gut says this is like 11 for Dodgers, something like that.
So let me just make a very quick point. I know we're running late, but the difference between elite teams and bad teams is the fact that bad teams, they need their stars to produce to win a game. Where a team like the Dodgers, they can get production from Tommy Edman. They can get production from 8, 9, 6. This is the difference between good teams and bad teams. And it's the reason Philadelphia was struggling because they only have 3 good players pretty much. So just a little
Dodgers have no shortage of really good players. Go look at Oklahoma City.
Today.
Well, look at Oklahoma City's lineup. There are some big league teams that might trade lineups with Oklahoma City right now, which is the Dodgers AAA team. So that's how many good big leaguers are just waiting in the wings down there. They haven't even unleashed James Tibbs III on you guys yet. He'll have his chance at some point. Pretty much the best hitter in minor league baseball this year, or at least one of the top three. So yeah, good discussion today. Went a little bit longer. Got you guys an extra game. Of course, you can help us out by the fact that it's $5 Tuesday, and we've got plays on each of our pages for sale for just $5. I've got a 4%er up. The other guys will have plays up as well, and every handicapper on the site. Listen, if you're still doing the World Cup thing, Carmine's been hotter than the sun in World Cup soccer. There's a bunch of guys on the site that have done really well in the World Cup. 2 more World Cup matches today. So a lot of good stuff to check out on the WagerTalk site today. And the three of us are going to try to bounce back and cash a 3-teamer, which even with yesterday's loss, still plus 5.52 units on the parlay this season. Bryan Leonard's going with Rays minus 118. I'm going to go with Padres minus 120. And Tokyo Brandon is putting Dodgers minus 270 in there. That's 3 full game money lines. We're going Dodgers, Rays, Padres. That's the 3-teamer today. Again, $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk. Check out our respective pages for best bets for just $5. And the 3 of us will be back in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, for more Total Bases. We'll see you guys then.